I want to refit the wheels, so I've greased up the splines in the drive pinion there, driving gear, in the final drive. I've done the same thing in the hub of the wheel, and I've deflated the tire. Otherwise, it's hard to get it past between the swing arm and the brake pad. So with the air out, it should just go through. That's the whole idea anyway. Yeah, it does. Oh, wrong way. You must put them in the right way. Once it's got past the rubber, you've got a bit more wiggle room in there. And what I've got to do now is line up the splines. So that's a bit tricky in itself. Okay, that's not going to hold too much weight. I need to put some prop. Although that's in, I'll just check the shaft. Yeah, shaft is rotating, so the splines are engaged. You can see there's a small gap, but as I turned the wheel, I could feel the shaft turning as well in the other side of the final swing arm. So I'm going to put the axle in and do it up and see if it comes together, just slowly and gently. I put a bit of grease on the axle and let's thread it through. That's home. You could tell by the sound. Okay, I'll put the nut. That might have to go in a little bit further. Well, it's engaged. I'll just knock it a little bit more. And I'll put a drift in this hole there, so it just locks in. Locks in like that, so that it stops the axle rotating. And I'll do the axle nut up to, well, the manual says 33 to 35 foot-pounds, which is okay, but according to all the material that I read from Snowbum, or something like that, what is his name? Stinkbum, I don't know. He writes all these articles on the BMWs, and he described the procedure for setting up the wheel bearings, and they were done up to a torque of 25 what, foot-pounds or newton-meters? 25 foot-pounds. I'll have to look it up. In any case, 25 foot-pounds is not 33. 25 newton-meters is not 33 foot-pounds. I'll have to do my maths. Let me just check that. I'm back. So it was definitely 25 foot-pounds, and the difference between the manual and what I did, the preload of the bearings is about 7 foot-pounds. It's not a lot. I'm going to do it to 25 foot-pounds because the whole point is that that is the torque that the preload is correct for the bearings, not too tight, not too loose. If you do it up to 33, it'll be too tight. If I wanted it to 33, I should have done it or picked the shims at 33 foot-pounds. But I went from Snowbum's bum because that's where his shit comes from. Anyway, he seems to know what he's saying. If he's still alive, I don't know. So I'm going to do him up to 25 foot-pounds, front and back. And if the wheel falls off when I'm riding, well, I'll let you know. And time to do the same thing in the front. Got a slot, a disc in between the brake pads. The brake pads will need adjusting later on. I've got to use the pin that goes into the caliper, which is an eccentric pin, I'll show you later, to align the brake pad parallel to the disc, and then check it with a graphite or pencil mark to make sure that it's rubbing up evenly. But anyway, for the time being, I'm just going to put them in. That's gone in there. Yeah. And again, I've coated the axle with a bit of grease just in there. Just line it up on the other side. Soft mallet. That sounds like it's bottomed out. And now on the left side of the bike, right there, goes the spacer, the washer and the nut, and you'll see that I've cleaned all the dirt and all the shit off them. And I'll do that for everything that I use. Sometimes they look a bit dirty, but it's just because they are worn or a little bit corroded. But it's good to clean all the shit off the screws and all the bolts and all everything that you use. This isn't a showroom restoration, but it's a roadworthy restoration. But it's nice to make it look not shiny but clean. Anyway, fuck, the spacer goes in there. The spacer goes in between the fork and the hub, so I've got to push it out and put the spacer in. Stupid. Okay, that's bottomed out. Washer, nut, and again 25 foot-pounds. again using a drift on the other side to stop the thing from rotating. That's not going to rotate. Yes, it is. And I won't do up the pinch bolts up until I hook up and adjust the brakes so that the forks can line up correctly.